Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
All right, so we are going to start sitting on our folded up blanket like it's just a little bit of a little cushion for our seat. And I'll pivot myself around a lot tonight just so that to make sure that you know what I'm doing. But start with just a nice bent knee position, blanket under your butt, round yourself over. And right here, just take a second to soften through the back of your body. We are starting a little bit late on our time. So if you need to cut out early, feel free, but I'll try to make sure I cover all of the lesson plan. Just know that we might go a little past. All right. So find that nice rounded back. Take a second to just take a couple nice deep breaths here. And then just for a moment here, especially if your eyes are open, if it feels safe and comfortable to do so, just take a moment to close your eyes down. No need to rush away from this place. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale nice and slow. 2 more nice deep breaths, keeping your eyes closed if you can. Before we move away from this gentle place of stillness, just take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, if you were holding your hands, like if your hands are holding each other, if you have that little hug and grip, start to release your handhold and just twinkle your fingers just a little bit. And then we're going to just re-grab the shins or the knees and then sit up a little bit taller and then lift your chin up to the sky and tuck your chin down to your chest. And we're just going to take a couple of nods of the head. How far you go with that movement is totally up to you. We just want to invite a little bit of movement into the head and the neck. You'll rearrange your legs just as much as you need to, but when you lift your chin the next time, you're going to lift your chin, lift your chest, take it into a little arch of the back, and then round your back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin into your chest. And you're going to let your butt kind of move on that pile of blanket so that you don't have to keep stiff in the hips, but allow your spine, your butt, your back to move just as much as feels natural. So you find that tiny little lift of the chest and then that tiny rounding through the back of the body. Lovely. One more cat and cow here. And then when you're ready, you're going to find a fairly neutral spine. Hands are going to come behind you. How you rearrange your hands will be totally up to you. Fingers pointing towards your butt or fingers pointing back. That's just whatever feels comfortable to your wrist. And then we're just going to take it into some light windshield wipers. Swish your knees a little side to side. Now, the tricky thing here, especially with that blanket under your butt, a lot of times when I do the seated windshield wipers, my butt kind of wants to scooch and move. So just take it small so that you don't lose your connection point with that little cushion underneath you. Beautiful. One more little swish of those knees side to side, and then sit up tall, grab your theraband. We're going to take our theraband and we're going to make a little a little loop so that we can catch hold of the bottom of the right foot. So once you've got hold of the bottom of the right foot, we're going to put a little bit of tension on, and then we're going to keep that bit of tension, bend and straighten the leg just a little bit. So not extreme. We don't need to like fully lengthen the leg, but just keep that tension on, bend, straighten the leg. Keep that tension on, and now we're going to add a little bit of movement of the head. So as you inhale, you're going to lift your foot, lift your chin. And then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your chin slightly down. Beautiful. Inhale, lift your foot, lift your chin. Exhale and lower it down. Take about 3 more just like that, but just move it at a pace that feels reasonable to you, keeping a little bit of tension on your theraband. Nice. And then the next time you straighten your leg a little bit, bring your head to a slightly more neutral position. We're going to push the foot forward like you're pushing on the gas pedal, and then you're going to let the foot fall all the way down to the ground. And then you're going to keep that bit of tension on your theraband, lift your heart, bring it forward just a little bit. Maybe you'll feel a little stretch in the hamstring, but we just flossed it out, so it might not feel very sensational at all. Take one more moment here just to pull your heart forward, and then bring your heart back. Bend your knee, pick your leg up. We're going to release the foot from the theraband, switch over to the other side. So you're going to catch hold of the left foot in your loop. You can reposition your right leg in any way that makes sense to you. But once you've got your foot into your theraband, give a couple of bends and straightens. Does not need to be extreme. Keep a little bit of tension on so that the leg is not flying. Feel like it's just a little bit of resistance or a little bit of work. Sweet. And then the next time you lift your foot, you're going to lift your foot, lift your chin. And then as you lower your foot, you're going to tuck your chin slightly. Lift your foot, lift your chin. Lower your foot, lower your chin. Nice. 3 more just like that. Move it at your pace. Last one here. And then as your foot finds a slightly long position, head in neutral, push your foot forward like you're pushing on the gas pedal, and then float the heel all the way down to the ground. Pull on the theraband so you sit up nice and tall, and then pull your heart forward. You don't need to go all the way to an extreme folded position, just enough so maybe you feel a sensation in the back of the leg, but you might not feel anything at all. Take one more moment here. Awesome. And then come back up just a little bit. So we're going to keep that theraband wrapped around the foot, and you're going to step the other foot in. So both feet are going to step into the theraband, and then we're going to take it into a little row. So keep your feet hooked in the theraband, keep your knees nice and bent, pull the theraband back like you're scraping your elbows against your ribs, stay nice and tall, and then release with control. So don't let the theraband snap you back. You're going to release with control. Pull the elbows back, scrape the ribs, release nice and slow. Beautiful. 3 more just like that. Pull the elbows back and scrape. Release nice and slow. 2 more to go. Beautiful. And this time, as your hands come forward and you soften the elbows, we're going to lift through the heart space, fold yourself forward so that you can just unloop your theraband from around your feet. And then just relax into a nice little soft fold. So it doesn't need to be extreme. Just let your hands rest. Wriggle your fingers if holding onto the theraband creates that little bit of tension in your hands. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Wonderful. And then come back up to a nice tall seated position. We're going to step the feet in just so that we have that bent knee position. And then we're just going to build a little bit of strength in the hands. So you're going to put your right hand on the ground, push into the hand just so your butt can lift up off the blanket, and then set your butt down over to the other side. Left hand down, push into your hand, lift your butt away from the floor, set it down, switch back over to the other side. Hand to the ground, lift your butt up. Doesn't need to be extreme. We just want to invite that strength into the shoulder and the arm. Think about the idea, if you didn't have your legs to use at this point, could you lift your butt up away from the ground? So the next 2 times that you go through, see if you can mostly find the work without any support of your legs. Push into your arm, use the side body and the shoulder to lift you up, and then lower with control. Nice work. Awesome. Now, the next time your butt settles back down to center, we're going to find a nice upright seated position, and we're going to start with some heel slides. So we're going to go with the right leg. Keep in mind that sometimes, especially on these sticky mats, the heel might drag and kind of pull your mat with you. So a little bit of patience. Even if that means you kind of hover the heel and you barely let it touch your mat. So you're just going to take a couple of heel slides, and then you might start to feel a little bit of work happening in that hip flexor area or that front pocket area. You want to just add a little bit of element of strength. So sit up nice and tall. Don't lose that strength in that front pocket area. Beautiful. 1 more heel slide here. And then the next time the right foot slides all the way in, we're going to switch to the other foot. Slide it out, pull it back in. Same thing on this side. Sometimes the heels and the sticky mat get a little bit unfriendly towards each other, so a little patience goes a long way. Nice. One more heel slide. And then when you're ready, one hand on the ground, your favorite hand, everyone's the strongest, lift your butt up, move that blanket out from underneath your butt, and then set your butt back down. And now we're going to take the blanket. And then if your blanket has the ability to maybe go into a little bit of a roll, we're going to roll it up and place it underneath the right knee. So we're going to keep a bent knee position. Left leg is going to do whatever the left leg wants to do. But now we're going to imagine that we're squishing the blanket down with the back of the knee. So we're going to engage the top of the thigh muscles to push the knee down. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, and then do it again. Push your knee down into the roll. You'll feel the top of the thigh kick on, and then hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Do it again. Push the knee down. Hold it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release, bend the knee. We're going to slide the blanket over just enough so that we can place the left knee on. Right leg is going to be wherever feels the most comfortable. And then away we go. We're pushing the knee down like you're trying to squish the blanket down. Hold that. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Do it again. Push the knee down. Hold it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Do it again. Squish the knee down. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. And now we're going to keep if you can, rearrange your blanket. If you don't need the blanket, if you can sit up really comfortably, sit up tall, you don't need support under the butt or support under the knees, feel free to leave any of that off. But I like a little bit of support under the knees. That way I just force myself to keep that slightly bent knee position. And now we're just going to start to point and flex the feet. Same thing here. Your heels might drag a little bit on the sticky mat. So if later on when you're doing it, when you're repeating these exercises, if being on a hardwood floor or putting socks on to help find that less friction against your sticky mat, you'll do whatever feels good. Now, pointing and flexing the feet. Now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. We're going to get a little faster. Awesome. 2 more points and flex the feet, and then grab your theraband. We're going to wrap the theraband. So bend your knees a lot so that you can reach past your feet, loop your theraband around the bottoms of the feet, and then come back to that more upright position. And we just want to create a little bit of resistance. So we're going to point and flex the feet. So you're going to hold onto the theraband in a comfortable way. And I find sometimes, especially around the feet, if it gets all caught up and it folds in on itself, sometimes you can just boop, boop, double wrap those feet, hold it in place, and away you go. So you find a way to make that theraband create just that right amount of tension so you feel like there's a little bit of resistance. And then once you've got that going on, go just a little faster if you can. Awesome. One more point and flex of the feet. And then when you're ready, release your feet from the theraband. We're going to move the blanket roll just so it's out of the way. And then we're going to come down onto our back. When we come down onto our back, we're going to, if laying flat on your back is an uncomfortable position, you're going to tuck that blanket back under your knees or put it in a place that feels like the most support. But then as we come down onto our back, take a second, make sure everything feels comfortable. And now we're going to squeeze our butt cheeks together. So you're going to squeeze your butt so you'll feel a little lift in the hips and then release. Squeeze your butt and release. Squeeze your butt and release. And now we're going to squeeze and hold. So squeeze your butt and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Do it again. Squeeze and hold. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Squeeze and hold. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. release. And now we're going to prop ourselves up just so that we're on the elbows and forearms. Keep the legs nice and long. Lift the right leg up, lower it with control. Lift the right leg up, lower it with control. Beautiful. One more time. Lift the right leg up, lower it with control. Switch to the left leg. Lift the left leg up, lower it with control. Lift the left leg up, lower it with control. One more time on the left side. Lift the left leg up, lower it with control. And now we're going to alternate between the two. As you alternate between the two, the upper body is going to stay as stable as it can. Your hips are going to stay as stable as they can. So there's not a lot of big rocking movement moving all over the place. One leg lifts and then the other. Nice controlled slow motion here. Beautiful. One more time each side. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll over onto the right side. How you position your legs is going to be totally up to you. I like the bottom knee bent and the top leg long, but you'll position yourself in a way that makes sense. You can use your blanket as a little pillow underneath your head or any other support system that feels good. But now we're just going to do some side leg raises, but we're going to keep the toe and the knee pointing forward. And it's not about getting a lot of height here. It's about getting control. So we're working through the side of the butt. So those side butt muscles are the muscles that should be doing a lot of the work here. If you like to do that little hand hold so you can feel that work happening, place your hand just right on the side of the top side of your butt, and then see if you can feel some muscle action happening there. Beautiful. One more lift and lower here. And then when you're ready, slow controlled, we're going to spin around to the other side. I'm going to flip myself around so I'm facing out to the camera, but you spin yourself around in any way that makes sense to you. Get yourself comfortable. I like the bottom leg bent, but you can have your legs in any configuration that feels comfortable and you have good control of. And then when you're ready, toe and knee pointing forward on that top leg, and we're lifting and lowering at a nice even pace. So we're not trying to go for like 20 bajillion reps. We're going for control. Lift it up and lower it nice and slow. And then same thing on the side. If you like to have that hand hold on so you can feel where that action is coming from, hopefully here you're feeling it in the side of your butt muscles. Nice job. Take 2 more lifts of that leg. And then when you're ready, lower that leg. We're spinning back around onto our backside. Grab your theraband. We're going to take the theraband and we're going to loop it around the bottoms of the feet. So roll onto your back, loop it around the bottoms of the feet, and then we're going to hold on to the tail ends of the theraband with a little bit of tension. So your arms are going to be straight out from your chest. You're in this dead bug position. So you're holding onto the theraband. Legs are about hip width distance apart. So there's a little bit of space between my legs. And now we're going to do alternating dead bugs, but holding onto the theraband. So one leg, one hand are going to reach out, come back in with control. The other leg, the other hand are going to reach out, come back in with control. Keep that nice even space between your knees. Opposite hand, opposite foot pushes out and away from each other. We bring everything back in with control and then switch. If using that theraband makes you lose control, leave the theraband off, find that controlled work first. But if that good amount of resistance feels good, now you're going to pay attention for a moment to your abdominal muscles or to your spine. For some of us, it'll feel really good to have the belly button pressing down into the ground. For some of us, it'll feel a little bit more comfortable to have the natural curve of your back. So position your back and your belly muscles in a way that this feels like comfortable work. It's not easy work, but it shouldn't feel excruciating to the back. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. And then when you're ready, pull both knees into your chest, release your theraband from around your feet, set that band off to the side, give your knees a little squeeze, maybe a gentle rock side to side. Lovely. One more little rock side to side, and then hold onto your right knee. Let your left leg go nice and long. Once that heel finds the ground, we're going to move right into a supine twist. So take that right knee over and across the body. Right arm opens out nice and wide, head turns to the right, take 3 nice big breaths here. When you're ready, on your next inhale, pull the right knee into your chest, bring the left knee in to meet. A light little squeeze, and then we're going to hold on to the left knee. Let the right leg go nice and long. Supine twist to the other side. Take that left knee over and across the body to the right. How far you twist, that's just going to be whatever feels the most comfortable to you. So you want to find a little bit of rotational work in the spine, but you still want to breathe comfortably here. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, pull that left knee into your chest, bring the right knee into meet. One light little squeeze, and then we're going to set up for our hip bridge. So we're going to release those feet down to the ground. For the starter, we're going to bring the feet together. So we're going to do like a narrow hip bridge. So feet together, knees together, inner thighs together, hands down alongside your hips. Exhale, you're going to lift your hips up away from the floor. Inhale to release back down. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to release. One more time like that with that narrow position. Exhale to lift. Inhale to release. And now we're going to toe heel the feet out just slightly. So maybe one step of each foot away from each other. So now that the knees and the hip points are lined up, once you've got your feet in that good position, back to those hip bridges. Exhale as you lift up. Inhale to release back down. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to release. One more time like that. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, release. Now we're going to toe heel the feet out slightly wider. So they're going to be angled out, slightly externally rotated. So my toes are slightly turned out to the edges of my mat. A nice wide position, hands back alongside the hips. Exhale, lift your butt up. Inhale, release back down. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, release. One more time here. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, release. We're going to toe heel the feet back in so they're about hip width distance apart. Once you've got that hip width distance apart, we're going to step the heels further away from the butt. So once you've got your feet stepped in, heels move away, hands alongside the hips. Exhale, lift your butt up. Inhale to release. Exhale to lift. Inhale to release. One more time. Exhale to lift. Inhale to release. Step your feet in just a little bit closer so heels are closer to the butt. Now we're going to pick up the right leg, step it across the left leg. You're coming to figure 4, and then step it right back off and down. Pick up the left leg like you're coming to your figure 4, step it across, pick it up, set it back down. Pick up the right leg, bring it to figure 4, right hand to the inner thigh, push the inner thigh open, take one big breath. Beautiful. Release your hand, release your leg, step the left foot across, find your figure 4, left hand to the inner thigh, push the inner thigh open, take a breath. Nice. Release your hand, step that foot off. Right foot's coming back across. Bring your right leg into that figure 4. And now we're going to go 3 times hands free, lifting the left leg up, releasing it back down with control. How high you lift that leg, where do you feel the strongest? Where do you feel the most control without finding any sort of shooting or painful sensation? One more lift here. Release, step the right foot off, step the left leg across. We're going hands free on this side. Once you've got your figure 4 set up, lift the right leg up just as high as you feel comfortable with. Release it back down with control. Lift the leg up. Release it with control. One more time. Lift up. Release with control. Step the left leg off, right foot's coming back on, but now we're going to lift up and hold. So if you prefer a lower position, just stay right here and take your breaths here. If this feels great, but you like that little bit more, you're going to reach your hands through, grab the back of the thigh, draw the legs in just to your comfort level, and then take a second to soften and snuggle your shoulders down, soften your jaw. Take one more breath. Before we release the figure four, if you're holding it in that more upright position, you're going to extend the left leg up towards the ceiling and take 3 points and flex of the foot. So you're going to extend the foot up just as far as feels good. 3 points and flex of that foot while the other leg stays steady. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bend that knee, release it down, and we're going to switch right over to the other side. So step your right foot off, step your left leg across. You might choose to stay in that lower position. That might be the place for you to be, but if it feels good and you want a little bit more, lift the leg up, thread your hands through, find the handhold that makes sense, draw the legs in, soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Before we release the figure four, if you're in that more close position, lift the right leg up and take 3 points and flex to the right foot. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release that right foot down, release your handhold, step the left foot off. We're going to walk the knees together, big toes together, inner thighs together. And now you're going to push your inner thighs in towards each other. Hold that pushing in sensation. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. We're going to lift the legs up like you're coming to happy baby, but now your hands are going to come to the outsides of the knees. So just get yourself so that it's a comfortable enough position. Hands to the outsides of the knees. Hands are going to push in, knees are going to push out. So we're going to create that resistance there. Push your hands in as you push the knees out. Your legs might shake a little bit as you get those hip stabilizer muscles to kick on. Hold that resistance. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release just a little bit. Keep your legs up in the air. Grab your yoga block or your throw pillow, whichever tool you're working with. We're going to place that yoga block right between the knees. Once you've got it there, and I'll spin myself around so you can see it both ways, but we're going to hold that yoga block between the knees. And now we're going to alternate as we keep the knees hugging into the yoga block or hugging into the pillow. One foot's going to swing out and then the other. And hopefully here you're going to find that work coming out of the side of your butt. So one foot's going to swing out. We're going to keep and maintain a nice 90-degree bend in the legs. We're going to keep and maintain that block between the knees. If you have really broad hips, if your bony structure is a little bit wider and the skinny setting of the block feels like it's a little too narrow, you can always place it on the medium setting if that feels like a better way to find that good work. But if the skinny setting of the block feels good, you just position the block in a way that makes sense to the bony structure of your hips. The next time your right foot swings out to the side, you're going to hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing that foot in, swing the left foot out, hold that left foot out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swing that foot in, grab your block, float your feet down. We're going to lift the hips up, slide that block or your pillow underneath your butt at the lowest setting. Once it's underneath your hips, we're going to take 5 nice deep breaths here with as little effort as possible. So you're going to think about relaxing that front pocket area. Think about relaxing the abdominal muscles. Think about relaxing the tops of your thighs. Let your hands just rest wherever feels the most comfortable. About 3 more breaths here. Now, if this feels like the most relaxing position you've been on all day, you might choose to take your Shavasana just like this. But if you feel ready to lift your butt up and off the block or the pillow, whatever tool you're working with, slowly take it out from underneath you, lower your hips down, and then ask yourself where would be your best Shavasana. Would it feel good to come to constructive rest, which can be a little bit relaxing to that front pocket area and can be supportive to the low back? Or perhaps you like to use your blanket under your head, under your knees, tuck yourself in. Get yourself as comfortable in this restful position as you can get tonight. As you start to settle in, eyes can close down, let your jaw soften. And with each exhale, think about letting your body get softer and heavier into the ground. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, start to gently reawaken your body. Maybe just wiggle your fingers, maybe just wiggle your toes. Maybe you gently turn your head a little side to side. Just invite the gentlest movement back into your body. And then as you start to deepen the breath, maybe you reach your hands up and overhead. Maybe you step your feet nice and long. And then as you come into this big good morning stretch position, we're going to soften for a minute. So once your legs are out long and your arms are up and overhead, soften, relax your shoulders, wiggle out your butt, make space for everything to kind of find a softer position here. And then we're going to reach right hand, left leg out and away from each other. So you're going to push through your left heel, reach through your right hand, stretch them out and away from each other. And then when you're ready, soften and release. And we're going to switch to the other side. So left hand, right leg are going to stretch and reach away from each other. And then soften and release. Now we're going to go both legs, both hands, stretch your legs, stretch your arms, reach out and away from each other. Take up as much space as you can. Take a nice deep breath in. And then slowly, gently, mindfully come up to a comfortable seated position. If you liked sitting on the cushion, if that lets you sit up nicer in a more comfortable seat, please take your blanket and bring it right up under your butt so that you don't lose any of that good work that we've just done. And then once you've got yourself up to a comfortable seated position, we're going to bring the palms together, fire up your hands, get them as hot as your hands can get. Ooh, I like the stripy blankets. I like stripes and I like polka dots. Those are my two favorites. All right, get your hands good and hot. And then once your hands are nice and good and hot, we're going to find those front hip points. We're going to rest the hands on the hip points, close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. When you feel ready, bring your hands back together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once your hands are nice and good and hot, we're going to bring both hands to the belly with as much coverage of the belly as you can find. So spread your fingers nice and wide, close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Bring your hands back together, fire up your palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once those hands are nice and good and hot, we're going to give ourselves a little hug. So you're just going to take your hands, wrap them around, catch hold of your shoulders, let your elbows drop down, tuck your chin to your chest, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then release that little hug and just stack your hands right on top of your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body and for all of your hard work. Take another nice deep breath. Allow your shoulders to scrunch up, tighten up your face, get it all up in the face. And then when you're ready, exhale, let it all go, and think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your night. And then just to clear any of that stuff that you let go of, take 3 big claps to your hands. And then when you're ready, gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. Sorry for all the